Become a patron at www.patreon.com/Golden Era Bookworm for hard to find books, scans of rare photos and articles on the Golden Era of bodybuilding. Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here. The history of physical culture is a topic that always fascinates me, and today I'd like to introduce Felice Napoli, a 19th century Italian strongman who played a very important role in our Iron Game history. He is by many considered the very first strongman. That is, he is considered to be by many actual Iron Game historians the very first significant strongman in history. And even more importantly was that he was the mentor of Professor Louis Attila, who went on to, of course, mentor Eugene Sandow and popularize bodybuilding. And of course, if Eugene Sandow was therefore the father of bodybuilding, and Professor Attila, you could call him the grandfather of bodybuilding, then Felice Napoli was truly the great-grandfather of bodybuilding. Yes, Felice Napoli is definitely an unsung hero in our beloved Iron Game history, and a tribute to the significant figure is long overdue. Enjoy. Born Felice Prades, later he changed his name to Felice Napoli, and he lived between 1820 and 1887. And as mentioned earlier, many Iron Game historians consider Felice Napoli to be the very first significant professional strongman, where he dressed up as Hercules, as shown in this great diagram here of Felice Napoli, a depiction of Felice Napoli in one of his circus strongman acts, dressed up as Hercules, performing incredible feats of strength, which I will detail today from a wonderful poster that I actually found very recently, which does describe pictorially the incredible feats of strength he was capable of. He would perform as a circus strongman in the Welsh Lager Circus in the mid-1800s, and more importantly, as I mentioned, he was the mentor of Professor Attila, and it is said that when Louis Attila saw the performances of this Italian Hercules, Felice Napoli, he was absolutely mesmerized and became his apprentice. Now, here is the poster on the right that I mentioned that I've only just come across very recently, describing pictorially all the feats of strength that Felice Napoli was capable of, and they truly are remarkable. The first one I want to talk about is the Roman column, of which Felice Napoli is supposed to be the first person that performed the Roman column, because apparently he created it. And later on, of course, it was later popularized even further by Professor Louis Attila, later on by Eugene Sandow, and of course even during the Silver Era it was still performed at Sig Klein's gym. For example, John Grimmick even used to use the Roman column. And yes, this diagram apparently is very accurate. You have Felice Napoli here grabbing a man and being able to use his leg and abdominal strength, his total body strength, to lift him from the floor and come up in a sit-up position with him. That is incredible amount of strength that must take to be able to perform such a feat of strength. Such was the strength of this Italian Hercules. Now, something that I found really fascinating was the image on top of his portrait in the poster, depicting Felice Napoli launching a cannon, right? Launching a cannon off his shoulders, right? I guess that's where the term cannonball delts comes from. It's incredible. Here we have him bracing the floor with a strong stance as he hoists that cannon onto his shoulder from the cart that you can see behind him, and you have his assistant lighting the cannon and shooting the cannon off his shoulders. Incredible feat of strength. Another typical feat of strength that Felice Napoli was capable of course, was bending iron. And you have that depicted here in the poster on the bottom right under the profile drawing of Felice Napoli. And I've just blown it up here, and you can really see him again using his bracing the floor, using his core strength, his total body strength, flexing his forearm as he bends the iron onto his forearm. It's pretty impressive. Felice Napoli was also very well known for performing all kinds of trapeze strength acts, such as being able to hold very, very heavy weights whilst he was hanging. Here we have Felice Napoli depicted carrying a small horse, and not just that, but he's got two what appears to be wheels from a wheelbarrow perhaps, also hanging off one foot, and all of this weight is supported by just hanging on his foot. It's pretty incredible. The man truly had Herculean strength. Now, one final feat of strength I'd like to mention was the Spanish web. Felice Napoli was quite famous for the Spanish web, a circus, an aerial circus skill actually, where the performer would climb and perform various tricks on an apparatus resembling a vertically hanging rope. And as I mentioned earlier, he would be quite famous in not just hanging off the rope, but performing all kinds of feats of strength. He's, for example, holding himself here in a horizontal position. If you look at the poster, there's many other acts that he would do in his Spanish web trick, holding all kinds of weights, holding himself in all these kinds of positions. The man was truly a Italian Hercules. Now, the Tomb of Hercules is a final feat of strength I want to mention, not shown on that particular poster, but again made famous by Felice Napoli, and also later performed by both Professor Louis Attila and Eugene Sandow. Here we have, from a different poster actually, depicting Felice Napoli's different feats of strength. We have him in a bridge position holding 400 pounds on his torso, whilst two men smash hammers down onto him as he holds that weight. It's very impressive. Of course, later on, Eugene Sandow would hold incredible weights, as would Louis Attila in their own strongman shows. Before ending this tribute to the Italian Hercules, Felice Napoli, I'd like to show some more images that I've been able to find on this circus strongman, on this pioneer in the Iron Game, and that is this particular color poster, where we can see again in color now many of his particular strength feats. You can actually see he's bending that iron bar in the middle. He's doing the Tomb of Hercules at the bottom right. He's performing all his kinds of Spanish web and trapeze acts at the bottom left, and also on the top left. And I think he's actually doing a kind of support hold in the top right image. There we have in the middle an image that I found from oldtimestrongmanwebsite.com, again showing a real photo now of Felice Napoli in all his attire. And finally, in the on the right here, we have an image of Felice Napoli, a portrait drawn. Again, I found this on the internet through an archive, a very hard to find image, I have to admit, but a very beautiful portrait of Felice Napoli. Now, if you are interested in learning more about the Bronze Era and strongman methods of gaining strength, of building muscle, you can find a lot of this information on my website www.goldenerabookworm.com, where I have uploaded rare books such as The Amazing Sansom, as told by himself, the biography of this strongman. Of course, I've got many books on Eugene Sandow, which talks about his light dumbbell system, his chest expander and cable system, as well as his strongman acts and how to perform them. There's also the biography of The Strongest Man That Ever Lived, Louis Cyr, by George F. Jowett, a fantastic read. Samson Systems and Methods is more of a, not necessarily an instructional manual, but it does give tips and hints as to how to perform certain strength feats and how to get strong using chains. He actually used chains to develop his strength. And I'll also be uploading very soon some books on how to perform strongman feats. I think this is a wonderful topic that a lot of people want to get into, and I've been actually asked about that too. All available at www.goldenerabookworm.com. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, this special tribute and homage to Felice Napoli, of course, the mentor of, as pictured here, Professor Louis Attila. Louis Attila, as well as Eugene Sandow, would later fashion their own strongman shows based on what Louis Attila, of course, had learned from his own mentor, Felice Napoli. Here we have Louis Attila dressed in his attire, again, resembling very much that Herculean look, that Herculean strongman look, which was so famous back in the day. If you've enjoyed watching the video, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't to the Golden Era Bookworm. Leave me a comment, and thank you for watching. If you enjoy my research on physical culture and bodybuilding history, please donate via PayPal. You can become a patron and support me that way on my Patreon account. Details are given in the description below. You can visit my website, www.goldenerabookworm, for out-of-print courses and books on on old school bodybuilding, and even on the methods used by strongmen. There are plenty of books on that topic on my website as well. You can also support me by contacting me via email if you wish to pass on your books, magazines, photos, or memorabilia. And finally, of course, you can also support me by purchasing your supplements and products from either NSP Nutrition or Old School Labs, with the codes again given in the description below. Once again, hope you've enjoyed watching this video. This is the Golden Era Bookworm. Bye for now. And to take full advantage of my collaborations with NSP Nutrition and Old School Labs, you can visit their websites and, for example, use the code GEB20 to get a 20% discount from all of NSP's products, and use the code on the Old School Labs website, Bookworm12, to get 12% off their products. And for an entertaining look at the history of bodybuilding's supplement industry, I would highly recommend watching Subs the Movie, which I have collaborated in, available at Amazon Prime and Vimeo.
Hi everybody, I just want to recommend this phenomenal book, Vince's Secret Locker, volume number 2 by Carl Coyne. I've been looking at this for about 4 weeks and I can't put it down. If you get a chance, check it out. He also has a part 1 that I highly recommend also. Vince was the trainer to the stars and had an amazing, interesting gym that today there's still not equipment like it around. It was all made out of wood. He'll be on our radio show coming up probably in the next couple weeks or so. Have a great day, and again, highly recommend this book.